So we've all heard the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? With the answer being something as silly and simple as one bite at a time. In today's video, we're gonna dive into that. Not the eating part, but more so, what would happen if one elephant took on 100 men? 1 versus 100. Elephant versus man. So we've all heard the question, could 100 men take down one gorilla? R.I.P. Harambe. Let's crank that dial though, all the way to nightmare mode. What about 100 unarmed men versus 1 elefante? Spoiler for you out there, if you're rooting for the humans at all in this video, you're already carrying the L. But before we get into the heavyweight of nature, let's start with something you probably didn't actually think existed. See, not all elephants have been skyscraper sized. In fact, ancient pygmy elephants used to roam parts of Europe, Asia, and the Mediterranean. These little guys max out at 5 to 6 feet tall at the shoulder. Basically, they were human height with tusks. Something about that doesn't make me any more confident. Imagine showing up to a basketball game and realizing your opponent is an elephant you could actually dunk on. Cute? Yes, if you think about Dumbo. Dangerous? Extremely. There is still 6 tons of attitude compressed into bite-sized packages. And something about being smaller just makes it more scary, i.e. chihuahuas with tusks. But those species went extinct and we no longer have the cute and cuddly elephants of the old. And what we're left with are these XXL giant behemoths, the final boss version, the African bush elephant. And these guys are not that cute and cuddly, and frankly, they will destroy you. And there are plenty of other elephants, specifically Asian elephants, and different variations. However, when we're talking the biggest, baddest, and most likely to destroy an unalive 100, it's always going to be the African bush elephant. The African elephant isn't just big, it's absurd. It's like nature hit the drag and resize on a regular animal and forgot to stop dragging. With height up to 13 feet at the shoulder and weight anywhere between 6 to 13,000 pounds. That's as much as a school bus on legs. And again, those crazy javelins called tusks sticking from their face up to 10 feet long. And the trunk alone has 40,000 different meticulous and muscles able to lift 600 pounds with one swipe. But here's the kicker. On your fastest day, an elephant is right there with you. Elephants can run 25 miles per hour, faster than Usain Bolt. Except Usain Bolt doesn't weigh 6 tons and carry ivory swords from his face. So yeah, think of it less like fighting an animal and more like going up against an angry forklift with PTSD. And the PTSD is real, friends. Let's talk about the elephant arsenal before we dive into their memory. Those tusks that have already been referenced, they are not just decorative. They gore, they lift, and they impale. One jab could literally throw you like yesterday's news. We see this all the time from hippos and rhinos that just get a little too close and someone has to remind who is the real elephant in the jungle. Now the trunk is equal part whip, battering ram, and grappling hook. It can slam logs, rip tree branches, and casually yeet a human. Their sheer size alone is a major concern if trying to actually conquer. One wrong step and you're a pancake. Just like punishments of old, these things know how to put down. Elephants don't even need to try to unalive you. Gravity does half the work. And the other major player and big concern is that these guys aren't dumb. Unlike most big animals, i.e. hippos, cows, rhinos, in a way that really can't see anything in front of it, so it just hits whatever is going toward, elephants are strategic. They're extremely intelligent, and this is huge for all the wrong reasons. They've been documented attacking villages year after year for mistreatment. They know faces, and these big boys hold grudges. So if one of your 100 guys throws a rock, congratulations. You just made this personal with a 13,000-pound beast. Now, could 100 men mob an elephant in the same way hyenas mob lions? Sure, in theory, yes. Humans win wars by swarming. Wolves do it, bees do it, even ants do it. But let's be real. That first wave of 10-20 guys, gone instantly. Tusks through the chest, trunk slams, stomps that shatter bones. The elephant could wipe out the first squad in under a minute. Now, in the second squad, This is a major problem because you're actively watching your buddies get turned into mincemeat. And unlike gorillas or hippos, elephants have endurance. A lot of it. They can fight and rage on for hours. Humans gas out after just a few minutes. The elephant's heart alone weighs over 25 pounds. That's much larger than your Yorkie. Ours, barely 10 ounces. That's the stamina gap. And this isn't just a theory. Elephants have proven the point. The annual unalive toll caused by elephants is significantly more than most animals. Think your major fears: sharks, snakes, and all the other big, crazy, scary animals like polar bears aren't coming even close. In this case, the average Asian to African elephant, and if they're reported correctly, unalives anywhere from 500 to 600 people a year. Dumbo coming back with vengeance after that clown scene. More than lions and more than sharks. And we already know we give them the bad rep for the amount of damage we do to their genus every year. Elephants have been recorded destroying villages, stomping crops, and even flipping cars when stressed or provoked. Step away from the vehicle. Elephants were literally used as war machines. Hannibal marched war elephants across the Alps to fight Rome. Yes, you heard that right. That crazy scene from the second Lord of the Rings is partially accurate. The part where big elephants fought in war, of course. Imagine facing down a 6-ton tank with tusks while you're holding a spear. No thank you. So if the best trained soldiers of the past could barely survive against elephants, 100 random guys in jeans and sneakers aren't doing any better. Here's a very, very simple equation that I want you to do in your head. One elephant, anywhere from 6 to 13,000 pounds. The average human male, 180 pounds. 100 men, 18,000 pounds give or take. That's combined though. That's spread out across 100 different bodies. Not concentrated in one armored juggernaut. An elephant is basically a rolling boss fight with splash damage. And that's not armored or plated like we used to do in war. These things were literally walking tanks. So even if humans went for the weak points like the eyes, trunk, or underbelly, we'd lose dozens before the elephant even started sweating. And don't forget, elephants can live into their 60s. Yeah, 60s. They're built for the long haul. They know where they're going, how they're gonna get there, and who they're gonna get in the process. Now, if we run this through the ARBS, or Total Accurate Battle Simulator, the elephant ragdolls 20 guys in one swing. And it's not pretty. The human side eventually wins on paper, but only because the sim doesn't calculate for psychological damage. And the elephant knows all too well the damage has already been done. Because again, picture this. You just watched 30 of your teammates get turned into crimson Play-Doh. You're really gonna charge in that second squad with your bare hands after that? I don't think so. Now, half of your army is retreating, the other half is screaming for their mom. The elephant doesn't need to unalive 100, it just needs to break morale. And baby, it did that. So, to answer the question, 100 men versus one elephant, could humans technically win by sheer numbers? Maybe. If they're willing to accept 70 or 80 casualties and fight like berserkers. Unfortunately, I don't think that we'd all stick to the plot. But realistically, the elephant stomps, and it stomps, literally. And here's the kicker. Humans have already been stomping elephants for centuries. Habitat destruction, poaching, and war nearly pushed them to the brink of extinction. We don't need to fight them in a coliseum. We're already the real problem. So if you're ever in the wild and you see an elephant, don't think boss fight time, think exit now. Because in this matchup, the elephant is always going to win. And remember, they might flail their ears and trumpet at you to warn you. When push comes to shove, you're shoved and pushed. And that's the end. Because in this matchup, the elephant always wins. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching. Please tell me if you want more of these absurd 1 versus 100. I have plenty more matchups in the chamber, and I'm looking forward to hearing your opinion and thoughts. Please provide those in the comment section. Until then, tell your dad you love him. Tell your mom she was right. Let your kid brother know things will get easier. And remember, you and 99 of your friends could not take down an elephant. And until next time, Factual Geographic, out.